Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. I am Angel,
I'm Adan.
and this is our throwback review of I'm Gonna Get You Sucka, You Dirty Mother, Watch Your Mouth, and don't pay. Hey, I'm gonna get you sucker, you dirty mother. Can't you say that? Okay, I'll stop singing along because I'm the only one.
Just because I didn't remember the song.
All right, so we saw I'm Gonna Get You Sucker via YouTube, which was a disappointment in my opinion. Reason being, a lot of edits, a lot of cuts where originally where there was profanity or sexual innuendos was taken out, understandably so, because it's trying to hit a wider audience on YouTube. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched a film that was done in 1988, spoiler warnings. So I took the opportunity to watch it again via Bluetooth. Bluetooth? Pluto. I'm thinking Bluetooth and Pluto. There was a lot of commercial breaks, but they didn't cut anything out, which was better, in my opinion. When you keep what was originally intended and originally recorded, it does make a difference. Not a huge difference, but it makes it a better experience. 1988, I was
16.
And you were what, like 3?
4.
You didn't see it then.
No, I saw it years later, but when I saw it was on cable television, I was used to seeing it with commercials. So every time I would see it with commercials until I got it on DVD or in watching it censored.
Gotcha.
For me, it was a little bit nostalgic. I do remember those scenes where they weren't cutting it because the television censorship was different than what YouTube is. YouTube is way more strict for their censorship.
Right.
They cut like what? 4 to 6 minutes of the film out.
Pretty much, yeah, a solid 4. The film itself is about 128 minutes. You have credits, so it's probably 126. Because back in the day, the end credits, didn't have a million people working on the set. It was very limited. Also, did get 3 million to produce. Which when I heard that and I rewatching it and seeing the quality of it, I was like, it cost $3 million to make this. I mean, in all honesty, El Mariachi by Robert Rodriguez, way low budget. I think 15,000 that he made, that he used his own money for. Better production, a better quality film, better edit, which gave us Desperado, then the third film.
See, here's where I will argue because Desperado was like not at any major location sites from the look of it and didn't have any major names.
Desperado or El Mariachi?
El Mariachi, sorry. But same thing. They didn't have any major names. They didn't have any major locations. It could have been anywhere. I mean, it was shot in a city, clearly. There were some stage shots. But where they really did it was like the names of the people they brought in. The actors and some of the sound production. And even now, like when I look back at it at 1080p, it looks kind of good.
I understand what you're saying. And you're right. Because they had some cameos. They had some real big cast. But I mean, the opening credits. It was like almost 5 minutes of just who's in it, who directed, who produced, all that stuff. Just very plain. Just like, done in graffiti, but it's just like on the wall and just very simple. There could have been some backstory during that, but it was just, granted, it was common back in the day. Now, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker is a parody of the black exploitation films done in the 70s, done in the 60s, even early 80s. It's a comedy, being a parody. You have Keenan Ivory Wayans, as you see here in the center of our heads. Boy, he has a big head. He's the star, director, writer of this movie, a movie that he got the idea from having a conversation with Eddie Murphy. If you don't believe me, you can Google it up. You have all the greats of not all the greats. You have majority of the greats of the blaxploitation films. One of them being Jim Brown, who's right there. And you have Isaac Hayes, who did the songs for Superfly, and which was funny because a lot of the music, especially the theme song for Slade, who was played by
Clancy Brown?
No, Bernie. Bernie. That's Clancy Brown is the white act from Highlander. This is Bernie Casey.
I don't know.
Bernie Casey. Are you whitewashing it already?
I am. I was influenced by the man.
And you have stars from A Different World, people from Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
You have other relatives of the Wayans.
There's an early appearance of Chris Rock.
The last time I saw it, really, that I remember, it was in the theater. And I saw it again. I probably saw it again on HBO or something like that, but it's been a long time. I saw it again with you. I actually saw it twice, like I mentioned earlier. I liked it. I still do. It kind of still holds up politically.
Yeah, I can see that.
Some of the comedy does fall flat, but when it shines bright. There's some things that you just have to laugh. You have to accept or believe or
just go with the flow.
Recognize the humor in it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite scene? Because I have a few.
I always crack up on the cramps scene, and it's like as a kid, I it was just ridiculous to me because it's basically like looks like Exorcist, and when I was a kid, I didn't get the whole cramps thing. All I knew is that he's like, you're possessed, and she's like, no, cramps.
Don't forget that we had a female watch it with us to get like a female perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the signs were all there what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then she, after the fact is done, she said, "What's with the crabs?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. She misheard it.
She misheard it. So
unfortunately, it's understandable because the main character is like growling her voice.
That's true. The audio was a little off, but on Pluto, it was clear.
And then it leads into like this ridiculous scream cry from Damon Wayans, and it was just a great execution of it.
Damon Wayans, in my opinion, with Kadeem Hardison, stole the show.
Oh, they had some fantastic moments.
That dynamic they had was awesome. As we mentioned in our previous viewing together of this, it reminded me of those Bugs Bunny characters where you have the little tough guy shutting up kind of thing, and you had that big oaf trying to be understandable, being friends, stuff like that, and always talking, and then you had the little guy smacking him around. That's what it reminded me of, that dynamic. Maybe that's what they were going for, because it was genius, and if it wasn't, still genius. If it happened by accident, I enjoyed watching those two work together.
Agreed.
You have other good parts too. You have their running skit of going down the stairs.
Yep.
You can take the stairs or you can take the windows. And
they had a lot of running jokes.
After a while, it may feel silly, they're taking the stairs again, blah, blah, blah. But it was funny because the banter of Damon and Kadeem's characters will have with each other as they're about to be thrown down the stairs still holds up to today.
Yeah.
Jim Brown, dude, in '88, still a freaking threat. I don't know. I just seen the guy was just powerful. I mean, I can just imagine how he was in the football field. I don't know. I didn't follow sports back then, and I know the stories that he was freaking tough as nails. But this guy, just looking at him, and he's not been in sports for several decades, and he still has that presence.
He was tough as nails until he got hit with the bunion.
Which is funny as well, because it takes something so small can take someone so big down.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, bunions are not all that, pleasant, especially when they flare up, but his flared up big time.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Thunder from Big Trouble in Little China.
Just on the toe, though.
I did have problems with the political issues that they brought up, reason being that not much has changed in 2021.
So they did a community outreach scene where they're trying to do community games to connect with the gang members in the crowd. And the very, very first scene was a gun firing in the sky to start a race, but it was being fired by a police officer, which is not bad in itself. But then he takes the pistol and aims it at the runners. And then the runners are running with two TVs, which today wouldn't be a thing, but they're running with televisions.
Not two TVs. Not each person is running with a TV.
No, tube.
Oh, tube. Sorry.
Yeah, tube.
Tube.
Television. They're basically running with these big televisions while being chased by dogs.
By police dogs.
That was the first race. And then the second thing was which gang can strip a car the fastest. But that very opening scene was like, whoa, I forgot about that.
For me, it was more about the TV run.
Yeah.
That one did bother me. It didn't bother me back then, of course, because I was young, didn't understand, but seeing it now and all the political strife that we're having and the police brutality, it did struck a chord with me. So it took me back. Also here you have which is not so much different now still, but they used it as a substance abuse.
Oh, the OG.
Right. Overgold instead of overdose.
Yep.
It still holds true today that gold represents wealth. it represents a higher status in the community, or not just the community, not the black community, but many communities where that's the thing. The more bling you have, the higher you are in the hierarchy.
True.
And but they used it in the sense of drugs. His brother was killed from overgolding.
He basically wore too much gold. And
Right.
everybody was
In a
like,
way
how
that-
does he pee with all that on?
Same thing in a lot of communities. It kind of also represented in the black community, which is pretty much known by now, that like crack was thrown into the black communities. Now, you can say it was the government that instilled it during the Reagan years, done by the CIA, allegedly. I don't want to get flagged or have visitors at my house, but you can see the parallel with that. In this film, you can see where they're making the parallels, but not throwing it in your face.
True.
Another scene I think you enjoyed was...
Oh, he's trying to recruit the Black Power, Republic Rebellion. He gets there and they're like, "Where's the army? Where's the, like the army to fight the man?" And he goes, "Yeah, they all got jobs." They all showed up at the building. They all showed up with like rifles in their hands. They go into the building and they came out with job applications. And the one guy is telling him this story is so upset about this. And then Keenan's meets the guy's wife, who turns out to be Jan Brady from the Brady Bunch.
We didn't know that until I pointed out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did. And then we meet their kids. I'm assuming it's adopted because their wife is given Snow. And then you also pointed out the daughter is the girl from Jurassic Park.
Yes.
That was in the Jeep.
Which is kind of funny or cool when you haven't seen a movie in a long time, but you've seen other movies after that,
start recognizing,
especially in pop culture, that Jurassic Park or other films that make the big buck.
Which
films.
Is funny to me thinking, because like how funny would it have been? Granted, it's not continuity. But if that was the same girl, like legitimately the same girl, just because they never gave her name.
True, right? The brother did look similar.
And they're reading off a story of how Abraham Lincoln is like a white swan. And she's like, "Preach on, brother."
You know what? I never thought about that. That could be the possible, because again, sister and brother, he looks similar to the other brother, from Jurassic Park. And we never meet the parents in either Jurassic Park 1 or 2, and they're both metropolitan areas. But that's actually a funny connection. That will be excellent. And it was granted because it was played by the father, Clarence Williams III. We know him from the Mod Squad, Purple Rain, renowned actor. He was awesome. He was hysterical. I thought the way he was pushing his products.
Yes.
Oh, the other thing about products.
Bean
what
soda?
Was it? What? No. When people come visit and they're asking, "You're not from..."
He's like, "You're not selling No Way products, are you?"
That's also another running gag.
Yep.
I mean, granted, I'm not familiar with that product, but you have that going on every time they meet new people.
Yeah.
I thought it was clever, that part. Because you had back then, too, you had a lot of people who come by the house, knock on, selling you Avon products or...
Yeah. And I think that's what I was referring
products.
to.
You have some people here that we didn't recognize or remember they were in. Like you have John Witherspoon, who's from Friday.
Yep.
You have David Alan Grier, which was funny, which is a little insulting because I'm looking at IMDb and they have here, I don't know if you can see it, David Alan Grier with not the right picture.
Yeah.
That's pretty insulting. They're using the same picture of Clarence Williams III.
I've seen similar stuff like that happen with like Amazon, and IMDb has slipped up sometimes. So I've seen that.
Oh, now they fixed it. They must have heard me.
Yeah, there you go.
That's scary.
Live updates.
Dude, that is scary. Wow. And what we got here also, the last thing is to mention is back in the 80s, we had one of the biggest comedians on the rise, if not there, but he was rising like a bullet. Robin Harris, the creator of
Baby's Kids.
They made a movie out of his creation, and he makes a cameo here. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was another star, and I would just love to see where he would have gone. He was also in House Party, Harlem Nights. Comedy specials were through the roof. Unfortunately, on YouTube, they cut it out, and I wish they kept it full. Is when they go to a bar, Keenan,
oh yes,
or Jack Spade and Slade go to the bar and they meet a hooker.
No, she wasn't a hooker. She was just a lady trying to pick up a guy.
Okay.
She wanted certain attributes from this guy.
I understand. Okay. maybe not a hooker, maybe not a woman of the night. Okay, she was a person in need.
We'll go with that. She
Well,
takes him back to his place, which wasn't that far away.
apparently not.
And Keenan decides to tell her the truth. He's like, I don't have it, what you're looking for. And she goes, that's okay. I lied too. I swear, as a child, this traumatized me. But then all of a sudden, like the things of what she lies about herself is coming to, which starts small. She's like, I'm wearing contacts. He's like, that's okay. He's like, these nails are fake. And he's like, that's okay. Yeah, wait.
No problem.
Well, actually, they'd show like only 3 things in YouTube.
Oh, they showed. Yeah, they did like a minuscule.
Pluto, I imagine there's like 7
Whole
things,
thing.
right? Because it goes from eyes to like nails to chest to butt to hair and then finally leg.
Which she finishes like, don't make me hop after you now. She proceeds to hop on one leg after him. I crack up on that because it's just funny. What's disturbing with all that, the wig part.
Oh, because she had the strands of hairs?
No, she had not just that. She had the strands of hair, but the one strand she had a bow tie.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That would just, for some reason, just creep me out. It kind of also reminds me of women where they're looking for a real man, yet they put on the makeup, they put on the eyelashes, they wear fake contacts, wear wigs, they get enhancements, be it in their chest or their butt. Granted, back then it wasn't so popular to get enhancements in your butt. The fake nails, I don't know, I can't say anything about the leg part. That's something else. But that facade that so many people, especially in the women, I'm not bashing any women, but I'm just saying, well, maybe it probably am. But where, again, they want a real man, but yet they're fake themselves. They're living lies. And I just think that was just a clever way of hitting that point.
When I saw it initially, I was a child. And
yeah.
And that, I was like I laughed, but at the same time, I was like, it never sat well with me. So I've always had an issue with like fakeness for like doctoring yourself up and wearing wigs and stuff like that.
I also liked, like I said, I mentioned before, a lot of these actors are from black exploitation films of the past. And you have also the pimp.
Yep.
He comes out in yellow.
Flyboy. His name is Flyboy, right?
Right. I'm played by Antonio Fargas.
Yes.
And he's from Starsky and Hutch. That's where he's known for. For an ugly dude, let's be real, he has charisma. He carries himself like he is the shit. And I love that. Pull that off and you believe it. There's some people that you can see. I know some people growing up that their style of dress, you would never wear it. When they wear it,
it worked.
Yeah, it's like, damn. It's just how they carry themselves. Be it that they carry themselves serious or not too serious. It's more like not too serious. It's just how they accentuates who they are, or the clothing itself boosts their esteem.
Yeah.
And Fly Guy had it. He carried it. He was awesome. But one of my favorite individual characters was
Kung Fu Joe.
He cracked me up. He was awesome. Played by the late Steve James.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in this film, a lot of actors that we see here are no longer with us. And he was one of those actors that I love seeing. He played that Jim Kelly character, the Fred Williamson character that we see in many black exploitation films. But he took it to another level. He quotes a line from Bruce Lee from The Chinese Connection. Everything he does almost is like he's calling out what he's doing. I punch you. I break your arm. I have some spare ribs, breaking the ribs. And the way he moves is all like we see it in the Kung Fu film.
Like when he turns off his Toyota and like pulls it over. He's like, whoo, 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 whoo. It's like, he's making his own sound effects.
Right. And then also in that, the car back, we don't have it now, but in the 80s, a lot of people were like hyped when they had a car that talked to him like Kit.
Yeah.
Your door is open.
Oh, that was
Your door is open. Your door is open. I said your door is open. So it just changed that. And it was like, again, you could have missed it. If you weren't paying attention to it, you would miss it. Even though it does go a little loud. Like for me, I was focusing on Kung Fu Joe when he's being attacked by the cops. He was awesome. And I like the scene too when they go into a club. Everyone's shooting the club up. And what's he doing?
Throwing darts.
like what he's gonna do with that? I just find that funny. It's like, but it's true because, granted, there's Kung Fu Joe. His influence was Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee threw darts in Way of the Dragon against guns.
Yep. Which
was kind of funny in his own right. I mean, talking about it now, I'm actually even enjoying it more. Talking about it overall, which is great. This is a movie that I would definitely see again. Not right away. And I would definitely not see it on YouTube. I would probably buy it because, well, first of all, it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheap now, and I can watch it without the commercials because it does have a groove, it does have a flow, and the commercials just takes it away.
True.
It
And
just
a lot
takes
of times
it
they
out of
don't cut it on the best areas.
right. So, another thing where they made fun of the films of the 80s and 70s is the stunt work.
Yeah.
The mother comes in to save the day, and the fight scene, you
Someone
can see
completely
it,
different.
it's clear. It's done by a white guy with a mustache,
And afro.
not wearing the same type of wig
Mm-hmm.
at all. And they didn't care about it. They did it on purpose. Of course, you knew why, and if you didn't know why, you're probably like, I don't get it. Why is there a white guy
Mm-hmm.
doing all her work? Because nowadays, stunt work, now the actors usually do the fight scenes, especially when you can see their face. They want to be there, and actors want to get involved as much as they can in the fight choreography, the stunt work. Back then, it was like pretty much a big no-no.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, men did the stunt work for women characters, which was insulting. And they did it again for the Black Widow when the Taskmaster was doing the stunt work. It was a guy.
Granted, it was a full costume, but yeah.
But there are women who could have done the same stunt work as guys can do it, or as the guy could have did in Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about that when we did our review, that the character walked like a guy and moved like a guy in a lot of scenes. And we only know, spoiler alert for the Black Widow crew, takes off the helmet, we find out is not a guy, but a female.
Yeah.
When I found that out, indeed it was a guy, that made me like Black Widow a lot more or less, which I don't like already. So, and here for this film, they did it more of a comical sense, and they did it right. Especially if you grew up that time and you remember seeing like out of place characters, actors doing the stuff. It's like, whoa. Now they're doing a better job of it. Now they're being aware of the camera and body positions. So if it is a guy or a woman that's of different shape or height,
They get someone similar.
Well, no, I'm just saying the cameras can help. The camera angle, they make it, they place it where it makes them more believable.
True.
Now, for you, would you buy this? Would you watch it again multiple times, or are you good?
I actually own it. I double checked. I do have it on DVD, so I do own it. But we were watching on Watch Party, so I couldn't do the DVD stream.
Oh, I'm so sorry you're bored.
No. It's early for us, and
I've been up since 5.
I know.
No, okay, 6.
But I would say it's a multi-fun for me. Like if it's on and I'm like someone has it play in the background, I'm gonna sit and watch. I may grab it and put it on if I'm in the mood. Like I said, I watched it like on my own before.
Well, in all fairness, can't you say it's ready for purchase since you do already own it?
Yeah, I could. In fairness, I can say that. Maybe clearance, because like you said, when I got it, it was at low price. Because usually, if you find this now, it's gonna be like in a bargain bin or something like that. Just to be frank. So, but ready for purchase, definitely is. It's not an expensive film.
You can probably find it at a dollar store.
Yeah, you may even get lucky and find it there. It's not that expensive a film. It's a fun film. And like watching it on DVD is definitely going to be a better experience. If they have it on Blu-ray, I would watch it on Blu-ray because I would rather make sure I can get 1080p out my viewing on it, because it does actually hold up very well quality wise for the picture. I think ready for purchase is a clearance, depending if you can find it that way. What about for you?
Yeah, ready. I mentioned earlier, ready for purchase. I would definitely buy this, especially you know me, especially if they did a behind the scenes stuff, or like maybe add a reunion. Like if they did like a 30 or 40-year anniversary release, and they did a reunion.
It'll probably be all the
commentary,
Waynes.
probably, and David Alan Grier and all the actors that are still living today. I would definitely buy that. I would love to hear their stories of when they filmed it. But it would be cool too in real life if we could all have our theme music.
Every good hero needs a good theme song,
right? Like if I was walking to class to teach, everyone would know that I'm coming because they'll hear my music. It could be like the Darth Vader theme, or it could be
something along those lines.
Yeah, or Superman, whatever. He's like, oh snap, here he is, here he comes. I'll be down for that. But anyway, great film, guys. If you have seen it, comment below, tell us your thoughts about it. If you didn't like it, let us know. You can catch it on Showtime, YouTube, or Pluto. But those are, YouTube, remember, is edited and you have commercials. Pluto is unedited, but it does have commercials. Or go to your local store, maybe Amazon, Walmart, yeah, Target, purchase it and watch it at your leisure. It's actually a fun film, especially if you're in my age demographic, which is in
70s and 80s, if you were born there.
I'm not. Oh, okay. I was gonna say
You're born
I'm
in
not
the
in my
70s.
70s, right? But I'm just saying I'm not 70s because of my,
The Grays.
Guys. Thank you for joining us again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, hit that notification button to know when our next episode comes up. Until next time, it will be the next time. I am Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.